Listening to our speakers tonight in regards to what's going on, not only in Washington, but what should be going on here in Connecticut to cover the issues that are going on in Washington. I overheard a speaker talk about people aren't going hungry. I just don't know how to say that is so false, because I know people in my community that are going hungry. I know people in my community that are watering down milk to make milk last longer. I know people in my community that are deciding between taking medicine every day, switching it to every other day, so that they can pay other things that they are not able to afford. And we think that Washington is not a factor in this. We have an administration that is being inactive until recently. We have an administration in Washington that is saying they're going to do things and take away things that are putting fear in our people. We have an administration in Washington that are encouraging one another not to support things, but to take away things from the very people that even voted for the administration that's there. And yet, it's not an emergency because we think things in Washington have stopped, but yet we can never guess because of the multiple things that change with the person in charge. We don't know if he's for something one day or against something one day. We don't know if he's going to do what the law says or if he's going to continue to break the laws that he continues to break. But yet, there's no emergency, people say. There is a big emergency, an emergency to the people that voted us in office. An emergency for them to be able to deal with the things that are getting threatened to be cut. SNAP. That was a big thing when we believed that the government was not going to support it. But yet Connecticut had to come in and do something to fix things, to make sure that people got a complete amount versus a partial amount. But some people think that's not an emergency. Well, an emergency to the people in Connecticut is not the emergency to the individuals in this room, because the individuals in this room can afford the things that the people that are going out in our community that can't afford the things. So for people to say that there are no emergencies, that is ridiculous. There is no emergency to any of us, yes. But there are big emergencies in our community. When people have to worry about SNAP, WIC, LIHEAP, food for our children in schools. Those are emergencies that our people can't afford. A crisis is not a tornado. A crisis is what our people are going through every day. And people can smile and put your hand up and they can do all those facial things because of what I'm saying. That's just because you ain't going through those problems. The people in my community are in need. The people in the majority of your communities are in need. Health care, health insurance. People are paying so much more soon, and we think that's not an emergency. How do you tell people in your communities that there's things that are not an emergency when that's what they're asking for? That's what they're hurt about. That's what they're struggling about. And then we say, the shutdown's over. It ain't over yet. Seems to me there's still a lot of debating up in Washington going on. And just for that very reason, that's why HB 8063 is necessary. This is why we in Connecticut have to stop being symbolic with our gestures. We need to start being tangible so our people can feel it. We can no longer we have to stop pacifying the people in our community and do something that they can feel. It's a need. We may not want to give it, but it's the need that we need to be showing our communities. When I talk to the people in my district, young parents, students, seniors, folks working 2 jobs, they're not asking for a handout. They're asking for things they have a right to have. And it's up to us in this legislature to make sure that we make life better for our people and stop taking things away like the money's ours. Yeah, it's got to come out of a fund. But the fund has billions of dollars in it, and we're worried about the little bit that we're trying to take out. Nobody's saying take all of it out. We want enough to cover the emergencies that are going on with our community. I'm asking my colleagues on both sides to think about your folk that put you in office and stop thinking about ourselves. We can afford to do what we're doing, and we can afford to have what we have. But those who put us in this office, the majority of them, can't. And if people in your communities can afford it, then think about the communities that we are in that can't afford it. Because if someone in your family is sick, you're going to try and do everything you can to make them better. If someone in your family don't have, you're going to make every effort you got to make sure they have. But the people in your community deserve the same treatment, the same respect. Madam Speaker, thank you.